right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us at our Learn at Home webinar series. Today we are going to explore PBS LearningMedia and all of the wonderful education resources that it has to offer while you are learning at home. We're going to start out at ket.org/education. This is the KET homepage. And as you'll notice, we have 3 circles here for early childhood, K-12, and adult education. And underneath each circle, you can find out more resources about each of those things. Today, we're going to focus on K-12, and underneath it, there is a little square that you can click on. It says PBS LearningMedia. This is what PBS LearningMedia looks like when you first log on. You'll notice up here it starts with it says Learning at Home, start with our pre-K-12 resources for emergency closure. If you click on that, it just gives you a few resources in every grade level and every content area that PBS stations across the nation curated at the beginning of this Learn at Home time. So you can find your grade level and click on it, and then you can find your subject area, science, math, and then there's a few resources there. Excuse me, that'll kind of get you started. And a very important button is the PBS LearningMedia little man up here. Anytime you click on that, it's going to take you right back to the home page. So if you get really deep into a search, you can always find your way home by clicking that. Now, there are several ways that you can research or search for resources in learning media. The first one is by standards. Let's go to core assessment, 6th grade. And you'll come up with the 6th grade standards. You can see there, and then you can click on whichever standard, let's say dance. You can also just search by grades. My favorite way to search is by subject area. You can click on this, and as you can see, all of the different content areas come up. So let's say you're doing social studies and civics and government. You click on that, and over here on the left, it breaks it down even more for you. So let's say we're talking about the American political system. And that breaks it down. And you can notice at the top it says 873 videos. You can break it down even more by American identity and diversity. And then it takes it down to 244 videos. So you can keep narrowing it down that way. And then that takes it to 241 videos. So you can keep narrowing it down by topic on the side, or you can go up here and say, I want for 7th grade. Oops. And it'll say there's 175 videos related to that topic in 7th grade. You can also narrow it down by type. We have videos, interactive lessons, so on and so forth. So let's say I wanted interactive lessons. There's one interactive lesson that fits all of my criteria, American political organizations for 7th grade. So those are some ways that you can narrow it down that are really convenient. Again, I went way deep into this search, so I'm going to click on PBS LearningMedia and go back. So again, to search by subject, you just click on that where it says subject, and then you choose what you're looking for. Another way that you can search is good old-fashioned keyword search. So I'm going to put in one of my favorite resources, 60-second presidents. So it's going to come up 60-second president videos, but since it is a collection, it's going to come up and you're going to have the choice of all of the different videos from 60-second presidents. So this one, and then let's watch Theodore Roosevelt.
When President McKinley got shot in 1901, 42-year-old Teddy Roosevelt became the youngest president ever, and the country would never be the same. America was modernizing, and Teddy Roosevelt was the right man to lead the United States into the 20th century.
You can see 60-second presidents. There is a little 60-second fun video about every president that has been in office. And it's the last one was Obama, and then when Trump comes out of office, there will be a 60-second video about him. So there's just a little information about the major parts of their presidency, and it's a good way for kids to learn about each of the presidents. You can see here there's a transcript because it goes by so fast that you can click on the transcript and it kind of gives you the information as well. You can also download any of the resources available in PBS LearningMedia. When you download, it just means it'll be there and ready for you when you get ready to watch it, and you don't have to worry about a bad internet connection or anything. So one of the things I forgot to mention at the very beginning was making an account. You don't have to have an account to use PBS LearningMedia, but it is a really good idea to have, because I'm going to show you how to favorite and save in just a minute. And in order to do that, you have to have an account, and it's free. There's no charge, and parents, teachers, students, anybody can get an account, anybody with an internet access. So if you'll notice up here in the right-hand corner where mine says Amy, if you log into PBS LearningMedia for the first time, it'll say sign in, sign up. And when you do, it'll have a little drop-down menu. There'll be an arrow like this, and there'll be a little drop-down menu. And it will say you can sign up through Google, you can sign up through Facebook, or you can just sign in creating your own unique password and username particular to PBS LearningMedia. So if you use Google Classrooms, or your kids use Google Classrooms, it's a really easy way to log in and then connect with that. So once you have an account, you can go down here, and where I said it's easy if you have an account with Google Classrooms, all you have to do is share the resource to Google Classroom if you're a teacher. And you say you really like this resource, you want your kids to watch it, you can share. And then you can go down here and favorite. And when the little heart turns blue, that means it's favorited. You also look underneath, it says support materials. The majority of the resources in PBS LearningMedia have some sort of support materials. Some of them may only have background reading, some may have additional handouts, some may have worksheets, and some may have lesson plans or extension activities. So you can get anywhere from one resource to like 10 resources, depending on what comes with that particular video. So back up here, I have favorited. So now I'm going to go up here under my name. For the drop down comes up, move that out of the way. And I'm going to go down to favorites, which is the second one right there. And you can see when you open up your favorites, the first video that you see is the first resource, because they're not all videos. But the first resource that you see is the last resource you favorited. So if I go here in this little box and I click and it puts a check mark there, then I can add it to a folder. I already have a folder for government, but let's say I wanted to create a new folder just for presidents. And then I can save. And now that, it'll tell you right here underneath, is saved in the Presidents folder. So when I go back up here under my name, I can go down to Folders. And then I will see here where it says Presidents. View the folder. And there's my video. So again, you just put in another one. I'm going to show you another one real quick. I'm going to do modeling fractions. But again, if you really like this resource, you can click here in favorites. You can see that I've already favorited it, and then just go up to your favorites and find it and put it in your folder. It's super easy to do. So again, you can download it. The resources are aligned to the Kentucky State Standards. So if you click on standards, it tells you which standards are being met in this particular video. So go ahead and play this for you.
In the tropical rainforest of Africa, a massive creature is on the move. His claws are perfect for climbing in pursuit of tree sap or fruit. He's one of the largest of his kind, and it's time for dinner. The Goliath beetle is a giant among insects.
And the reason I show this whole video, it's one of my favorites for math. And the reason is that under the support materials, you'll see, first of all, that it leaves you with a challenge question. And under the support materials, if you go down to challenge problem activity, it shows you how to answer the challenge problem using this way, and how to solve the challenge problem using this way, and how to solve it using this way. And it encourages kids to come up with their own model for solving the problem. So you've got at least 4 different ways there that you can solve that one problem. And I think that that's really important with kids, because not all of them are going to come to the same conclusion the same way. We all have a different process of doing things. So it really shows kids that you can, as long as you get to the same answer, there are multiple ways of doing it. And I just really like that one. So go back to PBS LearningMedia, and if you'll see down here, we have a different highlighted resource in each of the content areas. So every day there's a different highlighted resources in the resource in the content areas. And then if you go on down, it talks about news and events. And then when you scroll on down, these are some award-winning series and collections that KET has put together down here. You can see there are quite a few. And I'm going to show you one of the resources that we produce at KET that I really enjoy as well. It's News Quiz. News Quiz is a little 15-minute news show that is written specifically for kids. So it is written in language that they will understand. And the story is told in a way that is suitable for young children. And they usually have about 3 stories, local, national, global. And then after each story, they have a series of questions, multiple choice questions the students answer. And then at the end, Kelsey Starks, our host, will go back and she will answer those questions, go over the answers to those. So I'm going to go back and find an older one and just show you a little bit of it so you can kind of get the sense of what it's about.
Hi, and welcome to KET's News Quiz. I'm your host, Kelsey Starks. This is our last quiz before the holiday break, so let's get started. Our challenge question today has a festive mood. What religious faith celebrates Hanukkah?
Okay, so you can just kind of get a sense of what News Quiz is and how they tell the stories, and how Kelsey starts off with a challenge question at the beginning of every episode. And then there's also a transcript here, so that you can download the transcript for that, and the kids can kind of look at it as they go along. And you can also download the episode just like all the other resources. So if you go to support materials for News Quiz, you have further information about the stories that were told, and then vocabulary that's brought up during the broadcast. But you also have the handout that has all of the questions on it that Kelsey asks during the show. So the kids can listen And then as they go through, they can answer the questions as they hear the answers. And then at the end, when Kelsey goes over them, they can kind of grade themselves. But it also starts out with the challenge question at the top. And then it always ends with a little question at the end that kind of gives them, it's an open-ended prompt, an opinion question of sorts. So that's just kind of a little overview of News Quiz. Go back here, go to our little PBS man. So I also wanted to show you a couple more things just for the young kids. If you type in any of their characters, their favorite characters from PBS Kids, you're going to find resources for that, and they'll enjoy watching those and learning from those. So I'm going to do Peg plus Cat. And this one is about Peg and Cat learning how to estimate. Again, I'm not going to show you the whole 2 minutes and 10 seconds, but you can kind of get a sense. This.
We still have so much junk. I'll get some more bins from the nursery school. How many do you need? I have no idea. Should I count every bottle, can, and carton? That'll take forever. You don't have to count them all, Peg. You can estimate. That means make a careful guess. You could solve problems by guessing?
Get out of town!
Yep. When you're in a mess with no time to count, take a careful guess at the amount. You can estimate. We can estimate? You can estimate. You can't just say the first number that you think of.
Okay.
Okay, so there you can see you've got a nice little math lesson that's fun with some of your little's favorite characters from PBS Kids. And then you can go here to see the standards that it's covering. So they're not just watching a cartoon, they're learning about estimating, and it's covering standards. We don't just have videos in PBS LearningMedia. There are also interactives and interactive lessons. If you go to Everyday Learning, which is a collection of resources for preschool and kindergartners that KET produced, there are lots of examples of videos and interactives. And so here's the collection, and you can see here it says it has 95 resources. And up here it says this collection contains 78 videos, 20 interactives, 1 media gallery, and it's for kids K through 5. And so we're going to go to, let's see, find my favorite interactive here. If you keep going down, it's Everyday Math. And then you've got Healthy Me and All Around Me and Art to Heart. One of my favorite resources in this collection is Patterns, and it's an interactive. And so you can just launch it. And you can either play in English or in Spanish. We're going to play.
That's a pattern. When things are arranged following a rule, like first a boy, then a girl, then a boy, then a girl, or first a square, then a circle, then a square, then a circle, that's a pattern. Can you fill in the missing part of a pattern? Choose a picture and find out. Great job!
So it gives you positive feedback when you get the correct one.
Great job!
Also, if you choose the wrong one,
Try
it
again.
just says try again in a very friendly voice. So it's self-checking.
Great job!
It's self-checking, and they don't have to worry about, fearing getting it wrong. So we're not going to play that whole game. It takes you through. And then on something else I forgot to mention earlier is that when you choose a resource, you can also find over here on the right-hand side resources that are similar to that. So, if you really like this one, you might like these as well. And I'm going to show you the last thing. We have interactive lessons. So if I'm doing science and characters of living things, but I just want interactive lessons, then you've got two choices for interactive lessons. And I'm just going to open this and show you how they work, because there are lessons that kids can do on their own. So, and again, we have support materials and standards, and you may also like, and then we can launch it. And so you'll see up here, it says page 1 of 9. This is also why it is important for students to have accounts, because if they don't have an account, they're not going to be able to work through these lessons, and they're not going to be able to add their work as they go along. So, you know, it kind of gives you just an overview of what it's like, or what's going to happen in this video, how animals care for their young. And then you go to page 2, and you can watch a video, and then it asks you, how does a snow monkey take care of their baby? And then it also asks you some questions down here that the students will then answer here, and then they can save their work and go to the next one, go to the next page. And then on the next page, they'll learn something else about the shelter. So if we click shelter, it's going to tell that animals build homes to provide a safe space to raise their families. And then feed, teach, protect. So it's going to tell you all the ways that animals do this with their families. And then you have another video, and then think about it. So, and then as you go through, there'll also be passages that they can read that they have to answer questions about. So it's a good science lesson, but it's also helping them build reading skills and helping them to think critically. And that is the last thing I wanted to show you.